Hi, Bill Nissen again, and I'm going to be talking again about relationship being the lens that we see Scripture through. I got a really fun story to share that with, but I'm going to be reading a verse, and this verse is Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. And in the New American Standard Bible it says, "Enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide, and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and there are many who enter through it." And that sounds like a scary, ominous verse. But I got a really fun story about this. There was a gentleman who I got to know his daughter, and she asked me to go pray for him because he was dying. I believe it was of stomach cancer. And so I went to see him, and he was unchurched. He didn't know Scripture, but he started reading it because he knew he was dying. And he was very funny about it, very humorous. And, one of the things he said was, yeah, I started reading his Bible. But I said, well, how are you liking it? He goes, I'm not liking it. I go, why not? He goes, well, it says God hates divorce, and I'm divorced, so that means he hates me. And we addressed that issue, which we might do in another verse. But then there was another scripture we started talking about, and it was this one, enter through the narrow gate. I said, what do you see when you read that verse? He goes, well, I see a sick dictator putting me through a maze, trying to figure out where the little tiny door is. I said, yeah, I get it, but are you open to finding out that's not what it's saying? Because if you look at it through the context of relationship, this is what I asked him. I said, now you've been married for 15 years to this other gal. He goes, yeah, she's awesome. I said, what was it like when you first met her? And he goes, well, I met her at this dance hall. She was wearing a red dress, and it just started describing all the details of what she was wearing. She was the most beautiful person in the whole room. I said, that's cool. I said, what was everybody else wearing in the room? And he goes, well, I don't know. Actually, it was a little more colorful in the way he described it, but basically saying, I don't know what everybody else was wearing. I said, oh, so your eyes got really narrow, did they? And his eyes got wide. Oh, I see where you're going with this. I said, see, this is Jesus inviting us. We have all these distractions, especially at that time with all these other people trying to get their attention. He's going, hey, narrow is the gate. Me, broad is the way of destruction. You can be distracted by all this other stuff. The emperor trying to get your attention, Herod trying to get your attention, this philosophy trying to get your attention, that philosophy trying to, but I'm right here. That's going to lead to destruction. I'm right here. He's just saying, I want your gaze. I want you to know me instead of being distracted by all these other things. I said, just like he saw his future wife and his eyes got narrowed and he couldn't even tell you what else is out there. That kind of focus is where there's an intimacy, where there's a love. And that is the yearning that God is wanting here. It's not just some sick dictator trying to have you figure out a trick. He's actually just wanting your gaze. And I shared that with him, and he was like, wow, I didn't see that at all. That makes perfect sense. And it drew him in. I mean, he came to the Lord. He did die 2 weeks later, but it was a beautiful thing because he saw the truth of an intimate walk with Jesus Christ. So, hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you again.